What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are going to go over how to diagnose a bad battery versus a bad alternator on a first gen Tacoma or a third gen 4Runner. I have a 2002 Tacoma with the 2.7 liter 4-cylinder. Last week I got in my truck to go to work and turned on the truck. The battery light came on and I wasn't sure if it was the battery or the alternator. The battery is about 3 years old at this point, and the alternator was the original one that came with the truck. So I drove all the way to work. I grabbed my battery charger out of my garage, threw it in the truck, drove all the way to work and made it there. And I threw the battery on the charger while I was at work all night long. But I also grabbed some other tools. I grabbed my battery tester, I grabbed my multimeter, and I test all that stuff at work. So we'll go over all that stuff, and you guys can kind of see the process on how I determined if it was a battery or the alternator. So let's go back to when I first got to work and I started troubleshooting everything. Okay guys, so today when I left to go to work, I turned on the truck, the battery light came on, and I noticed that my voltage was way low and the truck wasn't charging. I'm 99% sure it's the alternator. I already went through and did all my tests, and I decided, well, I'll go back through and do them all again so I can show you guys what I did. And how I came to the conclusion that it is my alternator and probably not the battery. So I'm gonna go ahead and start up the truck so you guys can see the battery light. So you can see that the battery light is on there. And I bought this on eBay and I keep it here all the time, but I plug it into the 12-volt outlet and you can see my voltage is just hanging right around 12. When I left for work today, it was at 10.9. I grabbed my trickle charger, threw it in the truck. I made it all the way to work, but I've had the battery on the trickle charger, so I have a way to get back home in the morning. We're gonna go ahead and shut the truck off, and I'm just gonna go ahead and walk you guys through the steps on what I did to determine that it's the alternator and probably not the battery. So I don't have my tripod with me. Hopefully this will work out. I'm not gonna really be able to get a close-up, but I'm gonna go ahead. The first thing I did was grab my multimeter and I tested it. I don't really trust that that one in the truck 100%. So I bought this little Zotec multimeter off of Amazon for like 16 bucks. I'll link it down below in the description if you guys are interested. But it keeps your cables and your test leads really nice, nicely kept in there, out of the way. But we'll go ahead. I hope you guys can see this. Let's check the voltage real quick. 12.75, so it's close to 12.9 what it was reading. Well, what was it reading the truck? 11.9? So maybe it's off, but 12.7 we'll call it. We'll go ahead and we'll start up the truck and then we'll test it and see if it's taking a charge. So I'm going to talk back here so you guys can hear me, but I started up the truck, so we're going to put the test leads back on the battery and see if our voltage is coming up. And if the alternator was good, the voltage should be coming up. You can see that it is not charging, so I'm going to go ahead and shut off the truck. I have a battery tester. We're going to go ahead and check the battery. So this is my topped on battery tester. This thing is super affordable as well. I'll link this down below as well because I really like this thing. I think I only paid like $30 or $40 for this. If I can find it, I'll link it down below though. But super easy to use. Go ahead and you connect your negative to negative, your positive to positive, and it should turn on. Okay, we're gonna do the cranking test first. So it says start engine. RPM started, okay. Testing. Voltage, it says normal, okay. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna do the battery test. Regular flooded, full cranking out. This one is 750. It says replace the battery, but I know the battery's low. This is why I'm not 100% sure it's not the battery. It could be the alternator and the battery both need to be replaced. But we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna do the charging test. Please start engine, press OK to continue, so the engine's running. So it says increase RPM to 2,500 and keep it 5 seconds. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Then we'll press OK. So it says no output. So that's telling me that it's not charging the battery at all. So that's why I determined that the alternator is bad. So we're done with this. We can go ahead and we can disconnect. Another way to test the alternator too is if I disconnect one of these battery terminals, the engine should stay running if the alternator is good. If it's not charging, then the truck's gonna shut off. Don't do this if you have a newer car with a lot of electronics. This thing is old, doesn't have a whole lot of electronics that I worry about. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna loosen up the positive terminal here. And we're gonna disconnect. And the engine shut off. So that's telling me that the alternator is not charging. Yeah, so let's talk about it real quick. All right, so after all that troubleshooting, I drove the truck all the way home from work, no issues, and I swapped out the alternator that morning. I didn't film the process of changing out the alternator, but I did reach out to another YouTuber who did a video on changing out the alternator on a 2.7 liter engine. He does it on a 3rd gen 4Runner, but it's exactly the same. I used his video to look at when I changed out my alternator. So I'll put his video up and I'll link it down in the description if you guys want to see how to do that. But I got the alternator in, so then we'll go over the whole process again to test to make sure that the alternator was good and that the battery's good and all that good stuff. Guys, so it's the next day. We're at my house. I just replaced the alternator. I just put the battery back in. I had the battery on the charger all night long last night. So let's see what the voltage is on here. I already did fire up the truck, so it did charge it up a little bit. So 13.3 is what we're reading. I'm gonna go ahead and fire up the truck. When I first put it in, it was at like 12.8, 12.9. Fired up the truck, it started charging it, so I know the alternator is working now. So let me fire it up one more time and show you guys that the voltage is coming up. All right, so the truck's running now. You guys can see we're at 14.2 on the meter. And then we'll do the other test again. We'll loosen up the positive battery terminal here. and the truck stayed running. So it was the alternator that was the issue. Okay, let's go back through with our battery tester and do the test again. So we'll put this on here, right on the positive. Okay, battery test. Regular flooded, cold cranking amps, 750, testing. It says good battery, 98%, charge 100%, okay. So we'll do the charging test. Please start the engine, press OK to continue. Okay. Increase RPM to 2,500 for 5 seconds. Okay. Charging normal, sweet. And then we'll do our cranking test. Start engine, okay. Oh, we need to reset this one, hold on. Okay, so obviously you gotta shut off the car before you do the cranking test. So I shut it off, let's go back to this real quick. Cranking test, okay. Start engine. So I got 28 seconds to start the engine. And you can see it says good. So everything checked out. It was the alternator, not the battery. Hope this video helped you out, and will help you guys diagnose your battery light on your first gen Tacoma or your third gen 4Runner. And that was it. We determined that it was the alternator causing that battery light to come on and not the battery. I was kind of hoping it was the battery because I have a 3-year warranty on it, which expires next month. And so I was hoping it was going to be a battery issue, but I mean, the alternator, it was the original one in that truck. It's 20-something years old. It was about time to change it out. So, and it was only a couple, I think it was like $200 or something like that, and it has lifetime warranty on it. But I hope this video was somewhat helpful, and hopefully I can help you guys diagnose your battery light on your 3rd gen 4Runner, 1st gen Tacoma. Big shout out to How To Automotive for letting me use this video. Be sure to check out his channel. He's got a lot of helpful stuff down there. And I will see you guys next time for another one. Okay, guys, as always, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon if you want to be notified when I upload a new video. Also, follow our Instagram. I post a lot of pictures and stuff on there. And I'll see you again soon for another video. Later.